What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Enclave. Today we have episode 2 of our What If storyline, where Grand Admiral Thrawn and the Yuuzhan Vong, together, will threaten the galaxy shortly after peace is established with the fall of the Empire. Check out the first video on my channel if you haven't already, but let's start off with a quick recap to set the stage. 12 years after the death of Emperor Palpatine, a new republic has been established led by the efforts of Senator Leia Organa. When Han and Chewbacca find themselves on the moon Nar Shaddaa in the Outer Rim, they run into a stranger who helps them reclaim their stolen ship, the Millennium Falcon. Seeing this stranger use Force abilities, he reveals himself to be Ezra Bridger. Now up to this point, Ezra has been stranded in another galaxy with Grand Admiral Thrawn since the events that occurred in the Rebels series finale 16 years ago. However, instead of the Purrgil taking them to the planet Peridea as seen in the Ahsoka series, our story has the Purrgil leave them in unknown space where they are discovered by the Yuuzhan Vong, who take them prisoner for all these years. And with that, let's jump back into the story. After Ezra reveals his name to him, Han keeps up his end of the bargain and takes Ezra on board the Falcon as his passenger. While they are traveling, Han asks Ezra if he is a Jedi from Luke's re-established Jedi Academy. This takes Ezra off guard, prompting him to respond by asking Han if he knows of any Jedi, to which Han replies, of course, he knows the Jedi. This confirms he is an ally for Ezra, so he proceeds to tell Han that he too is a Jedi who was trapped as a prisoner for the last 16 years, and that an extragalactic threat is coming that could destroy their galaxy. He is wanting to get to Lothal to contact his old allies to prepare for the impending invasion. No longer a skeptic when it comes to Jedi and their business, Han takes Ezra's warning very seriously. He fills Ezra in on the fall of the Empire and the start of the New Republic, and tells him they should go to Coruscant instead, as he has really close ties to a senator that can help. Arriving on Coruscant, the three all meet with Senator Leia Organa. There is a brief but joyful reunion as Ezra and Leia recognize each other from their past meeting on Lothal many years ago. Shifting back to the main reason he is there, Ezra begins explaining to Han and Leia what he has been through. After being captured by the Yuuzhan Vong over 15 years ago, Ezra was kept prisoner along with the rest of the captured stormtroopers aboard their world ship. He explained that the Yuuzhan Vong had a disdain for technology and an obsession with pain and conquest, practically revering it. All of their weapons, armor, and even starships were bioengineered, grown for their specific purpose. And most alarmingly, Ezra describes how he could not sense any of their species through the Force, and that they were resistant to his abilities. It felt as though their entire race were a void in the Force. This made planning an escape extremely difficult for Ezra, as not only were the Yuuzhan Vong a unique foe with unknown technology, but he had no way of knowing how to return home even if he did get free. So he decided to stay and learn as much about this new enemy as he could, until the Force presented an opportunity to flee. But after a few months in captivity, he had also developed a fellowship with his former enemies and now fellow prisoners, the stormtroopers who had been serving on Thrawn's ship. Now, after their initial capture, Ezra noticed Thrawn appeared to have a vague knowledge of their captors, and was surprised by how easily Thrawn surrendered to them, not even attempting to plan a resistance. He continued to be compliant with them as the Vong interrogated and tortured his men for information. However, this soon seemed to work in Thrawn's favor, as after a few months as their prisoner, he began to gain favor with the Yuuzhan Vong by advising more efficient ways of torturing their prisoners, maximizing pain to obtain information. The Vong also saw him as their most valuable prisoner. Having been the Grand Admiral of the ship they'd captured, Thrawn began offering his brilliant strategic mind to the Vong as they continued their ruthless conquest through their galaxy. With his planning, the Vong were able to efficiently take over several planets, eventually gaining him enough respect and favor that he would become integrated with their military after just 3 years. Thrawn would quickly rise in status as the Vong continued to conquer planet after planet under his guidance and strategy. Ezra, witnessing much of the terror, was sickened by Thrawn's actions, causing planets to suffer all for his own self-preservation. And after 13 years, Thrawn had become the trusted right hand to the leader of the Yuuzhan Vong, Supreme Overlord Shimra. Now Ezra had not wasted this time in captivity either. Absorbing much information about the Yuuzhan Vong's weapons and technology, he had also taught himself how to operate one of their organic starships. About 1 year prior, Ezra learned that the enemy had worked with Thrawn to chart a route back to their galaxy, with the intentions of invading and conquering it. So Ezra devised a plan and was successfully able to steal a copy of this route, where he then proceeded to commandeer a starship and make his way back home, landing in Nar Shaddaa, where he ran into Han and Chewie. Back in the present day, Ezra warns Han and Leia that while Overlord Shimra is the unquestioned leader of the Yuuzhan Vong, he greatly values Thrawn's military decisions, effectively putting Thrawn in command of their forces. He estimates that at least for the past year, Thrawn has been sending Vong scouts into our galaxy to gain intel on the current affairs, and should be well informed as he prepares his invasion with his new allies. Visibly concerned, Leia turns away deep in thought as she processes this revelation. After a few moments, she turns back to them saying, Thrawn is not the only one with allies. She then asks Han to ready the Falcon. They are to go to the Jedi Academy on Dantooine to speak with her brother, Grand Master Luke Skywalker. And that wraps up Part 2 of our What If. Part 3 is coming soon and will finally involve Luke and the Jedi as they prepare for the coming invasion. But if you enjoyed the video and would like to see how this storyline pans out, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button, and may the Force be with us in the next video.